What is going on, baseball fans? How's everyone doing? We're going to talk George Springer possibly going to the Mets or the Blue Jays, Yu Darvish trade rumors, and Howie Kendrick retiring, calling it a career. Let's go ahead. Let's get started.
Wake up the dumb bambino and have me face him. Maybe I'll drill him in the ass.
And what is going on, baseball fans? How are we doing tonight? Alrighty, I had a lot of complications earlier. This is our second attempt at a stream. Earlier, the audio started messing up, of course. And then when I went to kind of reboot everything, the camera stopped working. And so I had to reinstall the whole camera, like the software that I use to connect the camera to here. So this might not be the best. I don't know. Tell me in the chat. Does this quality look a little better? On my computer, it looks maybe a little better. I can't tell if it's actually more fuzzy or if it's more clear. It looks good on my computer, actually. And I was like, whoa, that looks a little different. It looks a little more sharp. So, all right, it's looking good for everyone. Maybe if I zoom out just a little bit. Or I won't do that here. I'll do that for next time. I'm probably just kind of zoomed in a little much. So, but alrighty. But yeah, sorry about that, everyone. Usually I don't know, again, the audio. However, there was one thing that I looked at this whole time. So I guess I didn't realize there are certain other USB ports. So the way I hook up my camera is I plug it in. It's an HDMI cord going from my camera to my computer, and it's going through a capture device. I had the capture device in just a normal USB port, but I went on their website and they said I got to put it into the USB 3.0 port. And I didn't realize there was even a different thing. So I guess it's the USB that has like the blue on the inside of the port. So I plugged it in and wow, it just looks better. So here, actually, let me see if I can adjust the camera just a little. Okay, now gotta zoom out just a little more. Okay, I don't know. It's still looking a little fuzzy. It's like weird. It looks like fuzzy and kind of crisp at the same time. The colors look better. So, I mean, for some of you, it might look fuzzy. I'm not sure. I gotta figure this out. I don't know what's going on. I might have to call the company that makes this and have them walk me through it tomorrow because I don't know. I've been having problems with the audio and then this. So, we'll definitely we'll look into it tomorrow. But it's good enough to do the news. So. Enough of me rambling about the camera. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties. So, real quick, we were talking about George Springer earlier, but real quick before I get started on that, kind of have to restart everything. So, here we go. If you guys can, hit the subscribe button. If you are new, if you're looking for more baseball news, hit that subscribe button. We're talking baseball here all the time. Hit that like button. It's going to get this stream out to more people. I'm also on Twitter. Talking baseball over there, so if you want to come give me a follow over on Twitter, I can talk baseball with you guys throughout the day. So go ahead, find me on there. You can find me at GingerSnapHide. So enough with that. Let's get to the news. So again, before the last stream cut out and everything started going haywire, we were talking about George Springer. So Jeff Passan, he is reporting Mets, Blue Jays, these are the teams that are the strongest suitors for George Springer's services. So earlier I was discussing. Hold on one second. Let me pull up. I did a poll earlier today asking where you think he's going to land. So let's take a look. Well, looks like I'm frozen over there in the corner. So that was me working on the whole camera situation. So that is broken. So whatever, you're not going to see me. So here we go. The most important thing here is the poll. So the Mets, you guys voted 268 votes. So wow, you guys voted 22 more times since the last stream. This was at 244 prior. But you guys think he is going to end up with the Mets. 59% of you think he's going to go to the Mets. 26% think he is going to go to the Blue Jays. And 15% think will go to another team. So let me come back to you here. So where I think George Springer, I was saying in the last stream before everything just stopped working. So I think personally he is a better fit for the Mets. Right now, if you look at the Blue Jays, if you look at their depth chart, let me actually pull the depth chart up. Let's take a look. Okay, so the Blue Jays depth chart. Let me actually see if I can real quick. Let me see. I can probably just add this camera real quick. There we go. Nope, want that there. There we go. I can add. Okay, here we go. I can come on now. Cool. All right, I'm back. So, as you can see, let me just check mine. Looks like it's all right. All right, cool. All right, here we go. So, if we take a look at the Blue Jays, right now, their outfield is pretty much set. They got Teoscar Hernandez out in right. They got Grichuk out in center. They got Gurriel Jr. out in left. As of right now, there is no clear-cut fit for a George Springer. So, that just says, I mean, unless they make a trade for someone like a Grichuk out in center or a Gurriel Jr. out in left. Gurriel Jr. has a really team-friendly contract, a very good contract, and he's a very productive hitter. Had a good season last year in a small sample size, but he's only 27 years old. This is a guy, I feel like if you're the Blue Jays, he's on a good contract. I mean, you want to hang on to this guy. In 2019, he had himself 20 home runs, 50 RBIs. Decent OPS, 869, a very good slugging, a good OPS this year as well. I don't see why you would want to trade a Gurriel Jr. Let me pull up the contract just so I can show you how good of a contract this guy has. He signed a 7-year, $22 million contract. So if we take, actually, no, I don't want to go to this website. Let's go. There we go. Let me type in. I forget the website, but it usually pops up when I type in someone's contract. Sports Track or Spo Track. Spot Rack? I don't know, whatever. Here we go. So look at this contract. 7 years, $22 million. That is very friendly. He's only getting, this year coming up, he's only going to be getting $3,500. Or $3,500. That sounds like a lot. That's a lot to me. He's going to be getting $3.5 million. I mean, that's a heck of a salary. And for this kind of production, why would you want to trade this away? This is a guy you want to hang on to, at least in my opinion. So the guy you want to get rid of if you are going to trade someone to make room for Springer is Grichuk. This is a guy where he's 29 years old now. He overall in the last couple of seasons, he did have 31 home runs in 2019. He had 25 homers in 2018. He can hit for some power. He had a 738 OPS in 2019. So not great with the on base, only a 280 on base in 2019. Small sample size, a 312 OPS on base. So that's really not great either. So Grichuk is the guy you would want to replace. Again, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., this is a guy you want to hang on to, in my opinion, just because that contract is so friendly. He's such a good offensive player. Oh, thank you, Travis. Spo Track. Got it. I'll remember that from now on. So, but yeah, Grichuk, this is the guy you want to try and get rid of to make room for Springer. Are they gonna be able to find a taker for him? I mean, that's. I mean, I'm sure they can, but you have to make that other step. Including signing Springer and then making a trade. So right now, the Mets, they have a clear-cut fit. You can slide over. Well, the thing that made this a clear-cut fit for the Mets was Robinson Cano getting suspended for this year. And now, if you take a look at the depth chart, you can have Jeff McNeil slide over to second base now in place of Robinson Cano. Not really sure why they still have him on the depth chart. But now you can slide McNeil over from left, who was their left fielder for the most part last year. You can have him play second. You can have Brandon Nimmo, who is not a good defensive center fielder, have him move over to left field, probably where he's going to be a lot better defensively. And, I mean, he's got good speed. I think left field is not as demanding as center field. Put George Springer out there, someone who can patrol center field for you. That right there is a clear-cut fit. Now, what are you going to do? Overall, you have J.D. Davis at third. So Dominic Smith, he's gonna struggle to find playing time at this point if you bring in a Springer, unless you want to have him as like your J.D. Davis, someone that can go out and left. J.D. Davis right now, he is your third baseman. So I feel like most likely the guy that is going to kind of be the odd man out is Dominic Smith. You got Alonso at first. You got J.D. Davis at third. So, Dominic Smith, he's going to kind of struggle for some playing time. So that's going to be a bit of a problem, is where do you put Dominic Smith? But Dominic Smith, they have a pretty decent trade chip here in a small sample size this year. He played really well. He's only 25 years old. Hit .316 this year. He had a .993 OPS, 10 homers, 42 RBIs. You could maybe, and this kind of, and this is kind of one of those, players where, he had it kind of hit lightning in a bottle, whereas the year prior, over 89 games, he had one more home run. He had 10 home runs in 39 less games this year. He was going off this year. So could you maybe, if you wanted to make an upgrade at third in place of a J.D. Davis, this is where the Mets are going to have to make some kind of a move logistically to where, let's say if they wanted to go out and get a Nolan Arenado, I know that's a lot of money. If you're bringing in George Springer and then you're bringing in Arenado, they could use Dominic Smith as a trade piece. You could do a Robinson Cano and a Dominic Smith, or you could do Robinson Cano and J.D. Davis. But then again, where are you going to play Dominic Smith? That's going to be the problem. So it's a matter of, Dominic Smith at the moment, he would be, at least in my opinion, would be their left fielder without George Springer. But if you bring in Springer, Nimmo will probably go to left, unless maybe you trade Nimmo. So then you have a little more flexibility there. So then if you trade Nimmo, you could have Springer play center, and then you can have Smith play out and left. So I think it just depends on kind of what what kind of offer are you going to get? Are you going to get a better offer for a guy like a Brandon Nimmo, or are you going to get something better for Dominic Smith? So there's a lot of things going on here with the Mets if they bring in a Springer, but that's just good for the Mets. You got more players to work with to maybe include in a trade, maybe bring in, some starting pitching help, maybe bring in some more bullpen help, or something else. Maybe a Francisco Lindor. That's possible as well. Andres Jimenez. Maybe you could do a Dominic Smith and Andres Jimenez. I don't know. Would that get it done for a Francisco Lindor? That's possible. But we can get to that here in a little bit. But the focus here is George Springer. The Mets, I think, have a little more to gain from a George Springer just because they have more of a trade piece that they can, get rid of, whereas the Blue Jays, really their best, they could get rid of Gurriel Jr. You could have Springer play out in center, and then you can have Grichuk play left. There's a lot of moving around we're going to have to do. So either team that George Springer ends up going to, both teams are going to have to do some kind of a move. So, but hey, that's not a bad thing, Hey, more pieces to trade, hey, better for your team. So, again, getting back to the poll, we're at 59% think of you, or 59% of you think George Springer is going to go to the Mets. 26% think the Blue Jays. And we were kind of looking at this article too. Let me actually pull it right back up here. I showed this in the last stream before everything just stopped working. But George Springer here, again, this is reported by Jeff Passan. He's saying the Mets, Blue Jays, they're the top suitors. If you take a look at these other teams, they wrote a bit of a paragraph here. The Giants, they're looking more for complementary hitters. The Yankees, they're focused on DJ LeMahieu. I mean, I didn't really ever hear anything of Springer going to the Yankees anyway. The Twins, sure, they could maybe fit him in somewhere, but they're more focused on Nelson Cruz and pitching. The Braves, it seems like they're more focused on Marcell Ozuna. The White Sox, a lot of people thought the White Sox, I think even MLB trade rumors themselves thought they would bring in Springer, but they already signed Eaton. So right now, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that, you know, you're seeing that the Mets and the Blue Jays are the top suitors for a George Springer. So tell me what you think in the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs down, George Springer. Or you know what? Better yet, I know we did the poll earlier, but what do you all think? If you didn't get a chance to vote, tell me what you think in the chat. Mets or Blue Jays or another team. Tell me in the chat down below. I'm curious to see. Michael Lopez, he's saying Mets right away. Jake Romeo, Mets. Jackson saying the Mets. Com Center Sports thinks the Mets. Travis, you're still holding out hope for the White Sox. We're seeing a lot of Mets. Who would I prefer, Brian? Arenado or Lindor? That's tough, man. It's tough. Arenado is such a good defensive third baseman. But then you got Lindor, who plays good defense as well, at a very prime position. Man, that's tough. That is a great question, Brian. I'd say right now, I'd have to sleep on it. Right now, I'll say Lindor. I mean, but then I could also say Arenado. Can I call it a tie? Can I have both? That's rough. That's a rough question. But a lot of you, I'm seeing the Mets. So definitely George Springer. That's where I think he's going to end up going, is the Mets. So the Mets, man, if they can get George Springer, what an offseason that would be. George Springer, James McCann, you brought back Marcus Stroman, and you brought in Trevor May for the bullpen. So that's, if you can get George Springer, that is a heck of an offseason for the Mets. And you know what? And funny enough, they probably would not be done after Springer as well. They'd probably go out and get a couple more pieces. But then they'd also have to probably make a trade if they brought in Springer. Maybe a Dominic Smith, maybe a Brandon Nimmo. Hey, maybe you can get rid of J.D. Davis too. Who knows? Maybe you bring in Lindor, you bring in Arenado. Could you imagine if you get George Springer and one of an Arenado or a Francisco Lindor? And then those other guys you brought in too, the Mets could end up having a phenomenal offseason. I mean, and yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens here. So moving on, let's come back here. Here we go. So, yeah, that camera, man, I don't know. I got to work on the camera. It looks good on my computer. Like, it looks crisp on my computer. But when then I look on YouTube, it looks okay. But I can see where some of you are saying that it's maybe a little fuzzy, but at least the colors look pretty good. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. Anyway, I'm just glad everything is working, and I'm glad my audio is not, dysfunctioning and everything. I digress. So, moving on to the next topic. Yu Darvish. The Cubs supposedly are asking for Babe Ruth, not the actual Babe Ruth, in a Darvish trade. So we did talk about Yu Darvish the other day on a stream. What were some trade possibilities for a Yu Darvish? So Yu Darvish, let me pull up that article really quick. Here we go. Let me actually share the tweet. John Heyman was the one to report this today. Here we go. Nope, didn't want the intro. Nope, don't want that one. Dang it, I am having a rough time right now, everyone. Rough time right now. Here we go. So, John Heyman, Cubs ace Yu Darvish seems out there in trade talks, but it may be an example of a willingness to consider anything. And off second place Cy Young finish, plus big second half in 2019. One executive rates trade chance as very low, and one involved rival executive guessed this on the Ask. Babe Ruth? So it's not surprising to see Yu Darvish on the trade block because we've heard reports of the Cubs. They're wanting to unload salary, supposedly. And you know what? The Cubs, they could use a bit of a retool, honestly. They've had the same group of guys now. They let Schwarber go already. They non-tendered him. There's been rumors of, guys like Chris Bryant, Javier Baez, even maybe an Anthony Rizzo, a whisper here or there, where they're looking to make some moves. And it wouldn't hurt to maybe do a bit of a retool. And then also Theo Epstein as well. So, Yu Darvish, or no, actually, I want to go to baseball trade values. I want to just pull up a couple of examples. So, I'll tell you this also right now. Earlier, I said to go follow me on Twitter. I had a heck of a time today. With Padres fans. Padres fans, I love you. I love everyone. I don't care what team you root for. But my goodness, Padres fans, I thought were going to kill me on Twitter today. I think every Padres fan on Twitter wanted to rip my head off today because I said this in my stream the other day about Sonny Gray, where I just feel like the Padres, I don't know, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm definitely wrong a lot, so that's a possibility. But I just feel like, personally, the Padres, they just traded away a lot of prospects at the trade deadline this year. I believe they traded away 5, maybe 6 guys out of their top 15 prospects for guys like Mike Clevinger, Austin Nola, and Mitch Moreland. So they gave up a lot of prospects. So today, John Heyman, he tweeted out something about Yu Darvish, and holy cow, I said like kind of like half jokingly in a way, I said they unloaded their farm system for Mike Clevinger. And oh my goodness, Padres fans just came at me. Like it was like a swarm of just bees, like just came at me. I thought I was going to get like canceled or something. I don't know what was going on. That was just like, what the heck was going on? People were saying, you don't even know what you're talking about. You have a baseball channel and you don't even know anything and blah, blah, blah. My goodness, the saltiness was more salty than the Dead Sea. I couldn't even believe how much saltiness I was getting back in return for just simply saying that you traded away a whole ton of prospects. Sure, maybe I could have been a little more clear. I think people were literally taking that as they unloaded their prospects for Mike Clevinger. I should have said the trade deadline. But, so, yeah, Padres fans, I love you. But, my goodness, you're good. It's going to be okay. I promise you. So what I was saying with the Padres is I personally think the Padres farm system, it's a phenomenal farm system. Don't get me wrong. But I personally think it is pretty top heavy. That's just where I'm at. When I look at the Padres, and you can disagree with me if you want, but I think personally it is very top heavy. If you take a look at the top 3, Gore, Abrams, Campusano, and then it really just drops off. Maybe not really drops off, but then you get into Hassel, who, and again, this is only just one website. I understand. It's baseball trade values. So, after Campusano, and it just really, I mean, you got Hassel, who I think could be really good, but he's really far away. He was just drafted out of high school. So who knows what he's going to end up being? He could end up being a phenomenal player, but it's so hard to project the prospects when they're that young. But then you got guys like Ryan Weathers, Wilcox. He has a ton of velocity, but he had a lot of control issues in college. You have Hudson Head, Santana. I mean, I don't know what it was, but Padres fans, I'm going to tell you, don't say anything about the Padres farm system to a Padres fan because they might come at you like a swarm of bees. I'm going to tell you that right now. So where I'm at with Yu Darvish So if I were to put Yu Darvish here for the Cubs, here we go. So working out a trade, I mean, they could definitely do it. But first off, are the Padres going to want to do it? Are the Cubs going to be, I mean, because I'm going to tell you this right now. For a Yu Darvish trade to the Padres, they're not getting rid of Gore, Abrams, or Campusano. There's no way, unless the Cubs are giving something else back. Even then, I don't think they're going to get rid of Gore. I think Abrams could be a possibility because he's blocked right now in the infield. He could play outfield down the road. He has good speed. But right now, Abrams is blocked in the infield. So, I don't know. But Abrams, he hasn't had much of a pro career so far. So it is that he's also another one. He's a bit hard to project, but there's a lot of potential with an Abrams. More right now than a Hassel. But Abrams really showed a lot of promise in his first year. He's only played like 34 games as a professional so far, but he really showed a lot in those 34 games. So definitely people are very hyped on him. But that's another, like, look at Taylor Trammell. Taylor Trammell, I'm not saying Abrams is going to end up like a Taylor Trammell, but Taylor Trammell, this was a guy who was one of the top prospects in the game. He had one bad season, and now he lost a lot of value. He got traded away to the Mariners. So I'm not saying Abrams can't be a good player. I'm just saying, things might not go as smooth during your development. I mean, it's just kind of the way it is. But I'm going to tell you this right now. There's no way the Padres are giving up Gore, Abrams, or Campusano for a Darvish. Could they maybe do a Hassel? Sure. I mean, but then I don't know. But then when you look at these other guys, like maybe a Head? I mean, sure, like on paper this gets done. But do the Padres want to part with Robert Hassel? I don't know. Do the Cubs want Robert Hassel? That's the only problem is because he's very far away. I think if you're Darvish, this is a Cy Young winner. Yeah, I understand MLB trade value or baseball trade values. They're giving him a 20.1. This is where I disagree. I think this guy's value is higher than that. I know he's starting to get older. He's getting around $20 million a year. But I think his value is a little higher than that. Andrew Lee, Morahan, and Paddock. Well, if I take a look on here, again, don't want to base everything off of this website. But here, let's take a look here. Instead of Hassel, where's the other one? Here we go. So you're saying Paddock and Morahan. So yeah, major league ready players. Okay, so, but if you look, Paddock has a ton of value. Paddock has only had 2 years in the major leagues. He had a down year this past year, but he's still got a lot of value. He's only 24 years old. And if you put in a Morahan, I mean, that's already way too much for a Darvish. And again, I don't agree with everything this website says, but they do pretty good work, and that's pretty far apart. I mean, could you do a Morahan? You could maybe do Morahan. But do the Cubs want that back for a Darvish? That's what I'm saying. I don't know if the Cubs would want that. This is a guy that was in the Cy Young conversation this year. This guy was awesome. But Morahan, I mean, you could do a prospect with him. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you could do Baez. Or no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I thought that was Baez on the Padres. But I don't know. That package is to me. I don't know. Morahan's young, but I don't know. I'm not I'm not a big fan. Morahan was kind of like a mid-tier prospect coming up. He wasn't like a top prospect. He was respectable, but I don't know. I don't know. You could maybe. Sure, you could make this work, but I think the Cubs. They're looking for Babe Ruth, which rightly so. They should look for something big. They should. That would be ridiculous if they weren't looking for something good for a Yu Darvish who finished second in Cy Young voting. I keep thinking he finished third. He finished second. So, and he's not on like a terrible contract. If you look at a Yu Darvish, I mean, look at the contract. I mean, compared to what guys are getting now, this is not a bad contract at all. And he's been healthy, he's been durable. Sure, he's entering his 34-year-old season, but he's making $22 million this year, $19 million next year in 2022, and $18 million in 2023. So he's already made the most money out of this contract yearly. So he had $25 million in 2018, and then I'm guessing his injury, he probably something happened with his I don't know if that's just the way his salary was set, but I don't know if maybe the injury that year decreased his salary for the next year. I don't know. But again, this is a decent contract. And I think at 36, I think you're still going to have a pretty decent Yu Darvish. So if you are the Cubs, yeah, like baseball trade values, they're only giving him a 20.1, but I personally think it's just higher. That's just where I'm at. Like, I like numbers. I like, the statistics and whatnot, but I'm also like a feel kind of a guy too. And to me, Darvish, he's just more than that. I just don't agree. No disrespect to the website. They do great work here. I just don't agree. And, but yeah, and Padres fans, some of you Padres fans out there, that's all you have to say. If you don't agree, that's all you got to say. You don't got to come after me like a swarm of bees. It's okay. You just relax and, have a sandwich and we can have a conversation about it. It's not a big deal. Anyway, I digress. So it's going to be hard, at least I think personally, I just don't think they match up very well. They could get something done. Maybe a team, I don't know. You have some other teams like the Twins. I presented some ideas the other day with possibly the Twins, maybe going after Yu Darvish. Again, somewhat like the Padres, they're not really going to want to part with some of their top prospects. But if you do, Darvish to the Twins, hold on. Where are you at, Darvish? I presented a trade kind of like this. I did, which one? I did Dobnak, who's a major league ready starter. And then, maybe like a prospect or two. So where are we at? Something is going on. What are we doing? There's an ad that's starting to play. Where's the other guy? Balazovic. Where are you at? Is he gone? Where is Balazovic? Oh, I'm looking at majors. That's why. So, yeah, like maybe someone like I don't know, even that would be a little much. I don't know. I would think like if you're looking at like a major league ready guy and like a prospect as well, I think that would get it done. I don't know. Again, it's just going to be kind of hard to match up because I don't think teams want to give a lot for a Yu Darvish, but the Cubs want a lot. So, maybe a team, who else could use some starting pitching? Even the Phillies could use some starting pitching, but are they going to want to take on that contract? That's another thing. So, another idea. Oh, a lot of you really liked the Blue Jays trade that I presented. So, let's actually bring this one back up again. The Blue Jays getting Yu Darvish. I think also would be a great fit with the Yankees. I think that would be amazing. So here we go. Who did I say? Another thing too. What maybe you could do. No, I'll talk. Nah. I'll go back to that in a second. But I think the trade that I presented the other day, I think I did Manoah, Geraldo, and who was the other one? I don't remember. Maybe like Anthony K. I think I did something like that. Where I think you could see something like this. Maybe like another guy in here. Maybe, I don't know, like just whatever, another prospect. I don't know, maybe Ross Stripling. He's not a prospect, but that would help out the Cubs for the next couple of years. Something like that. Where you're getting a major league ready guy in Ross Stripling. Anthony K is major league ready, but you're getting a couple of good prospects at the same time. Something like that I think would get it done. That's where I'm saying, like, I think the Blue Jays, they match up better than the Padres do. So I think the Padres don't match up as well as other teams. And then you could maybe do a team like the Yankees. The Yankees, they could really use a number 2 guy. So if we go, let's do, I want to do Cubs, not Blue Jays. Cubs. Oh, you know what? Actually, hold on. There was another idea I just had a second ago because we were just talking about it with the Mets. So let's say, hold on. Let's say we had Cubs, Blue Jays. So this is also another idea as well. You could also, let's say, hold on, Cubs, Darvish. So earlier I was saying if the Blue Jays really wanted to go after a George Springer, hold on. Let me change that. Blue Jays. Okay, reset. Can we reset? What is going on right now? Okay. Cubs, Darvish. What you could do, oh my God, why is it doing this? Hold on, let me just refresh the screen. Sorry, everyone. Having a rough time tonight. So, Cubs, Blue Jays. Okay. Cubs, Darvish, where are you at? This is driving me nuts. Okay, finally we can do this. Okay, so the Blue Jays, they're trying to make room for George Springer. You got a guy like Randall Grichuk here. He has a negative value. Hey, Cubs, if you take Grichuk off our hands, well, now you can maybe get some decent pieces back. Huh? I'm just saying that could be possible as well. I want to go to Blue Jays. So now you can get some more prospects. Maybe now you could do a Simeon Woods Richardson instead of a Manoah, Geraldo. Hey, give us Anthony Kay. And look at that. So you're getting a major league ready outfielder. I can't remember who. Well, you got. I'm going blank on the Cubs depth chart right now. Cubs depth chart. Jason Hayward. Hold on, why am I going so blank? I'm forgetting his name. Ian Happ. I don't know. I was thinking Ian Anderson. I'm like, no, he's on the Braves. So, really? They got Nico Horner center field? Really? Why? I thought he was at second. Why is he in center? What is going on? Are they moving him to center field? So he played center field one game in 2020 and in 2019. Is that just there for logistics? Why is he in center field? I thought he was like a middle infielder. Can someone please confirm? Is he being moved to center field? I haven't heard anything about this. They had an article last year. So he's an option. I guess he could play center. But, I don't know, do you really want Nico Horner out in center? I mean, that to me, I've thought that was your second baseman right there. So, they had David Boat. That's right. Well, whatever. Okay, for just for trade sakes. But, you could maybe do something like this. For the Cubs, hey, all right, if you take Grichuk for us, we'll give you Woods Richardson, and we'll give you a couple of prospects as well. So I think, this is a possibility right here where the Cubs, they're getting some, good pieces here, and you're getting a really good pitching prospect in Woods Richardson. So this could be something. I don't know. I wouldn't count the Blue Jays out of a trade for a guy like a Yu Darvish or maybe even a Sonny Gray, even a Luis Castillo. I think the Blue Jays they are ready to make some moves. I could see the Blue Jays making some kind of a trade like this. Well, will they get George Springer? So that's the question. So either way, no matter who it is, and then one more trade I'll go over before I get to our last topic of the night. So instead of the Cubs. Or instead of the Blue Jays, we can do something like the Yankees. The Yankees have a couple of bad contracts too. Maybe the Cubs would take on for some more prospects. So the Yankees could really use someone like a Yu Darvish to go behind a Garrett Cole. With the Yankees, is there a bad contract here they can get rid of? Maybe an Adam Ottavino, Maybe Adam Ottavino could go to the Cubbies. That could be something. Ottavino wasn't very good last year with the Yankees. But with the Yankees, well now, hey, take Ottavino off our hands and we can give you maybe a prospect, a pretty good prospect here. Maybe you could do at this point a Clark Schmidt, and now you could probably squeeze in another decent prospect here. Maybe someone like a Peraza, something like that. Maybe or maybe you could do these two, Gil, Florial, something like that. Well, that's actually kind of pushing it. Hold on. Yeah, it's kind of pushing it. Yeah, they're saying not accepted. So, I don't know. Something. Here we go. Let me take off Gil and Florial. So, where are we at? We're at 17. I don't know. Let's just say Peraza. Something like that. You could get a decent shortstop prospect. I mean, they have Baez, but are they going to bring him? Are they going to get rid of him? So in this case, you're getting a young starting pitcher. You're getting rid of Ottavino in his contract. So hey, clear a little bit of money. Bringing in a guy like a Darvish. I don't know. Maybe you could still bring back maybe LeMahieu at that point. I don't know, but either way, basically the common denominator between all of these trade possibilities is that, with a Darvish, if you're the Cubs, you got to think if you have a good pitcher like a Yu Darvish, you're just gonna take nothing for him. I mean, he's on not a bad contract. Similar with Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray's on a good contract too. And same thing with Luis Castillo. He's still, 3 years away from free agency? So if you have these kind of guys who are on or cost controlled, or they're on like a pretty decent contract, Yu Darvish is a little pricier, but he's not terrible by any means. He's not getting Garrett Cole money. He's getting $20 million and under. So, and for Yu Darvish, that's a guy who could be a number two number two in your rotation. So if you're the Cubs, yes, you want to get as much as you can for Yu Darvish. So that's where I'm at. Do you think Yu Darvish is going to end up getting traded? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Give me a thumbs down if you disagree. Tell me what you think. 87 people in the chat right now. That's awesome. Great turnout tonight. Once again, having technical difficulties, but it looks like I may have figured out the problem. So hopefully streams from now on are moving a little more smooth. So give me a thumbs up if you think Yu Darvish is going to get traded, or give me a thumbs down. Tell me what you think. OHK Milk, he's giving it a thumbs down. Dobbs, he said nope. Sean Murphy, he's got the thumbs down. Andrew Lee, hey, I mean, if the Padres can get Yu Darvish, Andrew Lee, if they can get Yu Darvish, that would be a huge get. Are they going to be able to match up? That's the only thing. I mean, if the Padres are willing, hey, more power to them. I'm just saying. So I do think other teams are better fits logistically. That's just my opinion. But, they really want them. If they're motivated, go for it. And then you would have goodness gracious, you'd have Lamet, Yu Darvish, and Mike Clevinger in the same rotation in 2022. Oh, forget it. That would be insane. That would be insane. And that would be huge for the Padres to get a guy like him, because that would really give them a rotation that can compete with the Dodgers. So, Johnny, I was so close to saying that last name, and I had to hold back on that one. So you almost got me there. Darvish, maybe to the Angels. That's a possibility as well. I think they're really trying to go after a Trevor Bauer. So, Tremont Productions, Springer will be playing center field for the Mets. That's what I think as well, my friend. Brian, I agree. Sandy, keeping Uncle Stevie under wraps. I can't wait to see what the Mets do. Yeah, Com Center Sports. Yep, he had Tommy John. So, he is not going to be here for 2021. But can you imagine that rotation in 2022? So, that would be insane. Either way, Yu Darvish, it's going to take a bit to get him. So, Teams may not want to give up a lot for him, but if you were the Cubs, you would be wanting a pretty penny for a Yu Darvish as well. I don't care what his age is, what he's making. Yu Darvish is a good pitcher. So moving on, here we go. Last story of the night before we get out of here. Howie Kendrick has called it a career. A lot of people were expecting Howie Kendrick to play this season. Even people with the Nationals were expecting him to play another season. Howie Kendrick has been a very solid player in his career. What a great career for him. And a lot of us, this picture right here, this was that go-ahead grand slam against the Dodgers en route to that World Series championship. That was the extra inning grand slam. My goodness, Howie Kendrick. That was probably the moment of his career. So let's actually share a little something about Howie Kendrick. Actually, I want to go share the article real quick so we can give credit where it is due. Let's go here, sharing the screen now. Okay, so this was actually according to his own Instagram account. Can I actually pull up the post that he made? Look at this. Here we go. This is the first time I'm reading this. So after 15 MLB seasons, I've decided to retire from the game of baseball, a dream that started as a 5-year-old boy in the town of Callahan, Florida. I will be forever grateful for the many life lessons baseball has taught me on this 32-year journey. I want to give praise and thanks first to God and secondly, my grandmother, Ruth Woods, who laid the groundwork and introduced me to the game of baseball. To my wife, Jody, my sons, Owen and Tyson, I love you more than anything in this world. Thank you for sticking it out on this ride I called a dream. After all this, we've made it to Dad being home every day. Can I scroll down? What is going on? Oh, here we go. There's a lot here. Okay, I'm not going to read all this. But, so yeah, he thanks the Nationals here. Pays homage to his teammates, winning a championship. Very reflective. Pretty cool way to announce your retirement on Instagram. Good. I'm glad this didn't get out or anything. It didn't get out through the media. He was the guy that announced it on his terms. So I think that's really cool. But obviously this guy, I mean, he seems like a family kind of a guy. He said he wants to be a dad, be home every day. So as you can see here, lots of congratulations, lots of thank yous from people, from Major League players. Whit Merrifield here, Micah Johnson, even MLB Network. Is that Alex Wood? I think it's Alex Wood. So, yep. Jackie Bradley Jr. So, I mean, Brock Holt, Kike Hernandez, Jock Peterson, Evan Longoria. I mean, J.P. Crawford, all these players around the league giving thanks for such a, being such a great player in this league, congratulating him. So Howie Kendrick, what a career. But let's go. Actually, can I real quick? Here we go. Pull up the stats. So Howie Kendrick, 37 years old. He probably could have played a few more years. But you know what? He got that World Series championship under his belt. He was an all-star one time, MVP of the NLCS. I mean, not like a mind-blowing kind of a career, but just like a really solid career. Really good on-base percentage in his career, 337. Had 127 home runs in his career. Hit 294 for his career. That is very respectable. Never really like a middle-of-the-order kind of a guy. More of like a top-of-the-order kind of a guy. Maybe someone that bats near the lower half. But what a year, 2014, he played the majority of his career with the Angels. He, I believe, so yeah, Dodgers for a couple of years, and then he was with the Phillies, and then he got traded to the Nationals. And so, I mean, this guy just had a lot of good production in his career. Most home runs he hit in a season was 18. Highest OPS he had in a season was 2017. So was that his highest OPS over a full season? So 844. So this was a good season from him. Hit 315 that year, 844 OPS in 2017 between the Phillies and the Nationals. Again, MVP voting, finished 18th in 2014. 744 OPS, not that great, but had a really good on-base percentage, 347 that year, hit 293. He had 75 RBIs that year, 7 home runs. So, Howie Kendrick, not like this he's not going to be a, Hall of Fame kind of a guy, but this is a really solid player. He's picked in the 10th round in the 2002 draft. I mean, this is a guy, he's just been a really solid player in this league. How many seasons overall was this? How many seasons was this? Hold on. So, is that 15 seasons, a 15-year career? So, but yeah, I mean, they were projecting him to have a good season this year in 2021. I mean, look at this. 2021, they were projecting him to have an 812 OPS, 287 batting average. This guy definitely still had something in the tank. 2020, again, not his best season, but again, it's the small sample size. He only played 25 games. I think he was dealing with some injuries this past year. So again, he wasn't really himself. That definitely could have played a part in it as well. So I don't remember. So last season didn't go well for Washington or Kendrick, whose numbers slid during an injury-shortened campaign. So again, he's probably still not fully back from that injury, still not probably feeling all that great. So I believe with Kendrick, I think he was going to be a free agent after this year. So yeah. Was he already a free agent? He was already a free agent. So instead of, teams probably weren't really giving him, much to work with contract-wise because he was coming off of an injury. And he probably thought, you know what? I've played a long time now. I've played for 15 years. I'm ready to go be with my family. He probably wasn't getting a contract offer that he thought was worth it. But also his body probably wasn't still feeling all that great. So, good for him. Good for Howie Kendrick, a really solid player in his career. So, but yeah, Howie Kendrick, congratulations on retirement. It's always great when a guy can play, as long as he did and put up solid numbers. He won a World Series, made it to an All-Star game. He got the MVP of the NLCS in 2019. So good for him. Really happy for Howie Kendrick. But yeah, I think we can all agree that Howie Kendrick had a very, very solid career. So, everyone, that is pretty much all the news that I have for tonight. I can hang out for a few minutes. We can answer some questions. Again, if you are just coming in, I see 89 people in here. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. If you are here, you have yet to subscribe, you're looking for more baseball news, you're looking for more baseball content, think about hitting that subscribe button. I'm here talking baseball all the time. Hit that like button for me while you can. That's going to help this get out to more baseball fans out there. Share the stream as well. Anywhere you can share it. Hey, share it on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Share it on Twitter. Share it with your grandma. Share it with someone at the grocery store. Share it with whoever is your friend, so we can get more baseball fans in the chat. So if you have any questions, super chats are on if you want to have it pop up on the screen. But I'll do my best to look at the chat here. So yeah, Odd Villain Network, Braves are a problem. That can, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Braves can do this year. Whoa, what is happening here? Joshua Kesserwan, what is going on? How are we doing, my friend? Thank you so much. $4.99 super chat. Playing MLB 20 Padres franchise. Should I trade for Harper? Oh man, Bryce Harper, man. I still think you're going to get a few years out of Bryce Harper, but let's go look at the stats for Bryce Harper. Joshua Kesserwan, thank you so much for dropping that $5 super chat. So let's share my screen. Bryce Harper, is he worth trading for? I mean, he had himself a good season this year, and it was that over a full 60 games? 58 games, but goodness gracious. OPS of 962. 420 on base percentage. What a good season here for Bryce Harper. The thing with Bryce Harper is look how good he was here. I mean, he's really good. It depends on what you're giving up. Are they asking for a lot in that trade? So I don't know, but I mean, overall, I think for the money, you would think that he could maybe, have his OPS consistently in the 900s. 2017, he had a really good year in 2017. That was a really good year. Look at that 2015 MVP season he had. Goodness gracious, that year was so good. 42 home runs, 99 RBIs. But again, that was about 6 years ago now. 5 years ago. So he was on pace for a really good year this year. So he played 58 games. So 58 divided by 13 times that by 162. No, that's not right. Oh, wait. I think I just did the math wrong. 58 divided by 13 times. Wait, no, I'm doing the math wrong. 58, 162. Oh, here we go. I was doing the wrong calculation. Here we go. So times 13. He was on pace for about 36 home runs this year, so similar to what he's done for the last couple of seasons. Had 34 in 2018, 35 in 2019. I like Bryce Harper. Look at the amount of walks he had in 2018. This dude, he's really good. I think Bryce Harper is still one of the elite players in this game. I think if, on MLB 20, if you don't have to give up too much for him, then yeah, man, definitely go for it. I mean, that's also a big contract. The Padres, can they can you fit that? Can you fit that salary? So you got a lot of salaries on that team already. You got Manny Machado. Who's the other one? You got I'm going so blank, I swear, on names tonight. My brain is just not working today. Who is the other guy I'm thinking of? Oh, Hosmer, Eric Hosmer. So, yeah, man. You got some contracts on there. So Bryce Harper. Also, if you have Bryce Harper, are you going to be able to re-sign Fernando Tatis Jr. long term? That's going to be a question. So are you going to be able to handle all these big contracts? I don't know. Will Myers is making a decent amount of money too. I'd say go for it if the package is right, but that's what I got for you, Joshua Kesserwan. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate that. But yeah, any questions before I get out of here? Comp Center Sports, 3-team deal idea. Chicago sends Yu Darvish to Toronto. Chicago sends Bryant to Atlanta. Atlanta sends Riley and a starting pitching prospect to Chicago. Toronto sends Grichuk and starting pitching prospect to Chicago. That's interesting. I never know. Oh, darn it. I never know the 3-team trades. I feel like I can never get it right. Here, let's go plug it in. Taking a look at some featured trades on baseball trade values right now. There is a 3-team one right here. Again, baseball trade values, if you're not familiar, it's just where you can plug in trades. So, yeah. Definitely there's some good ideas usually that pop up on here. This is a 3-team one. The Reds getting Schmidt and Torres. Yankees getting Luis Castillo. Rangers getting Andujar, Estrada, and Moustakas. Look out for Moustakas. That's one too where the Reds, they may try to unload him as well. So that's actually really interesting. Castillo and Moustakas in a package, because that's actually a good idea, because Moustakas, if you're trying to get rid of salary, be like, all right, we'll give you Castillo. You don't have to give us as much if you take Mike Moustakas at the same time. So that's a really interesting trade right here. But the Rangers, they're not getting anything. What are the Rangers getting here? I don't understand this. How does this balance out? They're not getting anything back. Are they getting rid of Andrus? Oh, okay. I see where it balances out. Because they're getting rid of him, and you're getting Andujar. That's actually a pretty smart trade. I actually kind of like this trade. Andujar, again, a lot of people are, have kind of given up on Andujar, but I think this is a guy that has potential. I could really see him playing in Texas. I don't know why I see Andujar as a Ranger or maybe like a Brewer. I could see something like that where he can kind of have a restart to his career. This would be a really interesting trade. This is really interesting. So, not a bad one. I'm going to give that a thumbs up. I kind of like it, actually, because teams are really meeting needs. The Rangers, they're kind of restocking. Yeah, they got to take Moustakas, but look out for the Rangers. They may be a little more competitive this year than you think. The Reds, they're getting a pitching prospect and a shortstop for the future. And then the Yankees, I mean, yeah, they got to take on Andrews, but that gives them a shortstop in place of Torres, and then Castillo is your number 2. I actually kind of like this trade. I kind of like this a lot. And then there's this one over here. The Rays trading with the Twins for Blake Snell, Jordan Balazovic, Randy Dobnak, and Mitch Garver. I swear I have posted that same exact trade. I have posted a trade just like that. And I remember it got like all the downvotes. Either way, I like that. Mitch Garver, that's a catcher right there for the Rays for the next couple of years. You're getting a cost-controlled starting pitcher in Randy Dobnak, Jordan Balazovic. Anyway, let's get to that trade simulator. Let me plug that in. Com Center Sports. Let's plug that in real quick. So it's a 3-team trade. Okay, so it's going to be Cubs, Braves, and the Yankees. So, okay, you have Toronto getting Darvish. I got to play more around with these 3-team trades. So here we go. Darvish going to the Yankees. You have Bryant going to Atlanta. You have Riley going to Chicago. That'd be pretty cool. Hold on. Riley, where are you at? Austin Riley, where are you? Are you near the top? Riley to Chicago. Okay. All right. So, okay. And then Toronto, Grichuk and a starting pitching prospect to Chicago. Okay. So Cubs. Oh, I see. That's a different trade. So, okay, hold on. Let me pay attention. So Atlanta sends Riley and starting pitching prospect to Chicago. So, okay, who is someone? Okay. A Muller, maybe? See, I don't. It doesn't look like it's even. What if I validate it? Does it work? No, it says not accepted. So I don't know. Let's say I took out. Say I just took out Muller. Would this work? It looks like the Yankees still need something. No, that's not accepted either. So that's why I get so confused with these 3-team trades. So, okay, so I don't know. This would be interesting. I could definitely see something where maybe Bryant is, could go to the Braves. That would be good for the Cubs. If they are trying to clear off salary, then you can get rid of Bryant and Darvish in one deal. But the Yankees, what are the Yankees giving up? Would the Yankees give up Schmidt? Something like that? Maybe to the Cubs? That's a lot for the Cubs. Maybe Schmidt to the Braves? I feel like it's a little closer. I don't know. I get so confused. I don't understand where these numbers are going. I'm not good at math. So, yeah, I mean, there's potential here. There's definitely potential. My brain is a potato, and I can't figure this out right now on the fly. I'd have to sit down and play around with this. But, man, that trade, I'll tell you right there, that one trade that I saw here with Luis Castillo, man, I really like that trade. Can this please load baseball trade values? You are killing me right now. I love this trade. This is awesome. The Yankees getting Castillo. The Rangers, they're getting rid of Andrews, but, they're getting a couple of pieces in return, having to take on Moustakas. Reds getting Schmidt and Torres. This would be awesome. Look at that trade. So, I don't know. I like this one too. Twins, Blake Snell. Go on baseball trade values, everyone. It's kind of fun. If you're bored, just hop on here. It's fun. You can just kind of plug stuff in, play around. And people can give you a thumbs up or thumbs down on your trade too and leave you comments. So, David Knight, what is going on, my friend? Welcome. I mean, unfortunately, David Knight, we're just about to get out of here. That is all I got for tonight. Everyone, if you were here for the first stream, apologies for the technical difficulties, but it looks like we might have it figured out now. So I'm gonna work on this a little more tomorrow. Make sure it's hopefully I can figure out where it's not gonna stop like having all these problems mid-stream. So, but everyone, kind of just recapping the news. Not too much news tonight. So George Springer looking like either the Blue Jays or the Mets. The majority of you on my channel think he is going to go to the Mets. I think that too. Yu Darvish, Blue Jays. I need to go to bed. The Cubs asking for, quote, Babe Ruth in a Darvish trade, which I agree. I think they need to. I think they should try and get a good amount back for Yu Darvish. And the last story. Oh, David Knight, Howie Kendrick. I'm sure you've already heard the news. Howie Kendrick has retired. What a great my goodness, I cannot talk. It is time for bed. What a great career for Howie Kendrick. Again, congratulations on a very solid career, winning a World Series at the end of his career. Unfortunately, injuries kind of got the best of him last season. But hey, you know what? The guy gets to spend time with his family now. So, yes, David, I am a grandpa at heart, my friend. So, Ernie Labar, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Hopefully this channel can keep growing and we can keep reaching out to more baseball fans. So, hey, we can talk more baseball with more people. So, everyone, that's all I got for tonight. Hope you have a great night. If there's any more news, I'll be back here tomorrow night. I'm going to try and get out my video to either tomorrow or Wednesday about what if David Ortiz never left the Twins after the 2002 season. So be on the lookout for that in the next couple of days. I'm going to try and get it out tomorrow. It's a bit of a long one, so I'm not promising tomorrow, but should get out by Wednesday. So everyone, have a great night, and I'll talk to you next time.